In today's episode, I'm heading over right now to Old Orange County Courthouse. You guys have seen us shoot at this city hall multiple times. The premise of today's video is going to be shooting with the V1 Mid to see if this bad boy keeps up. The idea is, you guys have seen me shoot with the V480 and that one kept up really well. So I'm gonna see if the V1 Mid is enough for, let's say, like a medium sized shoot. We're not talking about an engagement session, which I guess would fall kind of into the same category because it's about the same amount of time that we're gonna shoot today, but we're not shooting a full 8-hour wedding, 10-hour wedding, whatever. That's not the piece of kit that I would use probably for a full day. Can you get away with a V1 Mid for a full wedding day? More than likely you can. I've shot with speed lights for the longest time before I picked up the 8200 and all those other bigger flashes. So you probably could get away with it. It's not what I would recommend, but you know, I'm sure you could. The V1 Mid has 55 watts of power versus the V1 Pro, which has 76 watts of power. So we're talking about a little bit less power on a speed light. The V100 actually is on the way. I'm going to test that one out for a future video. That one, there would be absolutely no doubt that that thing would be enough. So I want to see how much we can push the V1 Mid on today's shoot. We're going to be using the AKR1 modifiers from Godox. And the reason for that, I explained it in the other video as well, is that if you are on a little bit of a tight budget,
we are on a very tight budget,
and there's nothing wrong with that, you can cook with just about anything, guys. You just have to understand certain limitations about the AKR1 kit. I explained it in the other video. Please go and check it out. The premise of today's shoot is being able to shoot with it indoors, being able to shoot with it outdoors, seeing how quickly it keeps up as far as recycling time. The recycling time is 1.7 seconds at full power, which should be plenty, and it gives you over 500 full power pops. It shouldn't be an issue for an hour-and-a-half shoot. So I just want to show you guys in today's video what you can do, what you can get away with a 55-watt flash. Would I do this with an IT32, for example? Probably not. That one is, I think, a little bit too little of power for a full shoot like this. That's something that you would use maybe later in the day, later in the evening. I may do one just to see what we can really cook with it, but I think this is probably somewhere close to like the minimum of what you would use for a shoot that we're about to do right now. But I'll let you guys know. And we're also going to be using the Profoto Clic, if there's time and if it calls for it, to see if adding that intensity from that Fresnel head helps or if it completely changes the look of the shoot and I just don't like it at all. So I'll let you guys know about that as well. But right now we are 33 minutes away. We're going to get there almost an hour early. If there's anything else that I need to fill you guys in on, I'll let you know. But also, like I said, check out the other video because that's the one where I explain all the pieces of equipment that I ended up bringing for today's shoot. And I always bring extra stuff too. So even if I'm not going to use it, it's in the trunk because just in case, backup camera, you know, extra flashes, things like that. In any case, let's go see what we do. Let me turn the Depeche mode down so I don't get demonetized. Last thing is, on the way, I decided, even though I'm 99% certain that the battery is pretty charged, because we've been reviewing so many different pieces of equipment, I forget which ones I've charged, which ones I haven't. And that's one beautiful thing about all these flashes is this one, you can charge the battery with the USB-C. So I just have it plugged into the little USB-C port in there. Quick thing with the V1 Mid, if you plug it into the USB-C on the side of the flash, which is right there, it's not going to charge the flash. That's only for upgrading the firmware on it. So if you need to charge, you need to take the battery out and charge the battery. I mean, you can leave it attached in there and just plug it in, but you can't charge it through the unit itself. It would be nice if you could just plug it into the unit, whatever, but I'm glad that at least it's a removable battery. I mentioned that in another video. I think it's wasteful when they enclose it in there Apple style so you can't take the battery out. I think that they're updating like the rules or the law, just like with USB-C being universal now because of waste. I think that they're also doing that where batteries have to be removable in the near future. So let me know, have you guys heard anything about that? I'm pretty sure that's what I heard. And I hope they do, because it is silly that they're enclosed in there and you can't take them out, because then it just becomes wasteful. You throw out an entire unit. I'm going on a tangent now, so I'm gonna stop it here. Let's get to the location. Again, we're still like an hour early. Testicle. All right. So we just got here a little while ago. Oh, there's no pocket on that side. Okay, we just got here a little while ago. And as expected, Fridays are pretty crazy. There's a lot of people. So here's a little tip. I've mentioned this in previous videos, but I'm gonna mention it again. If you can do your session any day but Friday or Saturday, I would advise that. As a professional photographer, you can make any day work, anything work, any amount of crowds work. But as far as your stress level, if you're getting married here and there's a ton of people in the lobby and you have to do this line and then another line, it adds a little bit of stress. So if you can do it on any day but Friday or Saturday, just a little tip. But either way, you know, we're gonna have a good time. I think the last appointment here that you can do, as far as I know, is 4 p.m. which is what time their appointment is. So by that point, I think a lot of people might clear out. The reason I say that is because I have done sessions here and it's crazy. And then I'll drive back on my way home and it's 4:10, 4:15, and there's no one here. So I'm banking on that. I'm hoping for that. But if not, whatever, we'll figure it out. And yeah, we have all our equipment here. This is essentially all we're gonna use. Grid, the CTO, the little bubble on the V1 Mid, and on the MagStand. If you guys haven't seen the video of the MagStand, we posted a couple of them. Go and check them out. Really great stand. And also the little party trick. So someone's calling. I can feel my pocket buzzing. So yeah, we're gonna get started in a minute. So Liz just asked a very good question. She said, are you gonna use lighting here? And the answer is yes, because if you turn around and look this way, you see how bright the background is? With the background being that bright, if you shoot this direction with no light, you're gonna blow out some of that background. So in order to prevent that, we're gonna use a flash. So we're gonna expose for the background and then hit them with some flash. So that way they're not blending in, or the background isn't blowing out behind them. Another thing that we're also gonna use, Liz, I didn't mention this to you before, is we're gonna use this Profoto Fresnel. And allegedly this thing intensifies the amount of light that you get out of it. So when we shoot just the two of them, we're not gonna do it with the kids because the kids might get a little, they might act like kids. It is what it is. But when we do it with just the two of them, I wanna do one without this, and then I want you to attach it, and attach this with a magnet. Allegedly, this intensifies the light, so it's definitely an area where it would be necessary, because that back there, if we're shooting at 2/50th of a second within our sync speed, we're probably gonna be shooting at like f11. So something like that. It's gonna be very high because we wanna underexpose the background. So definitely gonna be using flash, and definitely gonna be playing with this little Profoto thing. So I'll have you hold on to it actually, so we don't forget. So right there, I have Liz standing. Liz, step back a little bit. Keep going a little more. So I wouldn't put them there because you see that hot spot right on her face. Come forward a little bit more. Come forward, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Right around there. That's more than likely where I'm gonna place them. They're gonna be here in a few minutes, so that's gonna work right in that little spot. All right, guys. So we just wrapped up. I'm in the car. This is a habit I've been doing lately, is I've been transferring everything over before I leave or before I head out from the shoot. So that way, by the time I get home, everything's transferred onto an external drive. And, I don't know, maybe it's a little neurotic and I could probably relax a little, but I'm probably not going to, but whatever. We all have our things. So right now I'm copying all the photos, transferring them here, and everything went really, really smooth. I would say the Clic Fresnel from Profoto was probably one of the biggest surprises. I found that it definitely intensified the light quite a bit. When I first ordered it, and I thought, okay, I'll try it out and I'll probably end up returning it because I can't imagine it's going to be that much of a difference. But no, like that was a significant difference. It felt like it almost doubled the intensity of power. So I'll try it out a little bit more. I'll see as far as like how much zoom it's actually doing, because obviously it's not something that you're going to set off in a softbox or in a umbrella. It's more something that you want for a tighter beam. But for that, it worked really well. As far as the V1, it more than kept up for what we needed today. Not only indoors where it's, somewhat easy, playing on easy mode, but even outside when we were shooting, I was at full power and I kept going half, full, quarter. It kept up. It didn't give me a single misfire. And inside, when we were shooting the ceremony you guys are seeing, I was going in burst mode. I was shooting very quick and not once did it miss. Not only that, I kept looking at the light to see when it would recycle, so it turns green every time that it's recycled. At 1/16th power on medium burst on the Sony a7 IV, it just kept recycling. Not a single problem with overheating, not a single problem with misfiring. If you're in the market for a solid under $200 flash, I would say the V1 Mid is definitely something to consider. The V1 Pro is really nice, but it just doesn't have the touchscreen. And the V100 is really nice, but it's $350. At that point, I have something that I think I'm gonna recommend to you guys, but I wanna test the V100 first. It's actually at my front door. I ordered it. So I'm gonna test it out and then I'll give you guys my full analysis opinion on that one. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate every single one of you who has commented, liked our content, because all of that is helping the channel grow. My goal is to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. So if you guys like what we post, feel free to subscribe and be part of the journey. Anyway, look at that. It's almost done because I'm using a CF Express Type A. So 45, 42, 39 photos left. I'm gonna let this run on the way home through Aftershoot, and then yeah, we should be good to go. All right guys, have a great weekend. Thank you for watching.